Growing up with the internet was a scary time. We had the ability to find content we shouldn't be seeing just by looking up our favorite shows on Google. Many of us have seen our favorite characters turned into horror-themed monsters at the hands of some random internet artist, but the most well-known victim of this trend is My Little Pony. The show, originally made for kids that ended up with an audience of adults, unsurprisingly has had some extreme works created by the people who watch. Even though new works are still being created based on the show, the My Little Pony IP has been around for a long time. Now that the internet has been commercially available for over 30 years, we are starting to see new evolutions within long existing fandoms. My Little Pony as a franchise has been around since 1981, but gained massive popularity in the 2010s due to the 4th generation TV show. This new generation had a cast that pulled from the original characters, but made them into something different. The original Rainbow Dash loved fashion and dressing up with her friends. In the 4th generation, however, Rainbow Dash is the cool, loud, and athletic type. The love for fashion was given to the character Rarity, while the pony herself was inspired by Generation 1 designs Glory and Sparkler. These new designs appealed to many, and they were so easy to draw that there were a ton of artists inspired to make OCs, myself included. Ta-da!
Oh my god, bro.
Oh, hell no, man. What the fuck, man?
The creative inspiration this show gave wasn't limited to just original characters, but also entire original stories featuring the main 6 ponies in new situations. Alternate universes, or AUs, are reimaginings of a fictional universe, with new conditions or happenings. Anything from the ponies all being sent into a Dungeons & Dragons campaign, to something like Starlight recreating World War II. The first major example of this that I can remember is Fallout Equestria. This fanfiction, written by K-Cat, was first published in 2011, and since then has spanned over 620,000 words in 5 different volumes. You can even listen to it as an audiobook. It's about the land of Equestria experiencing what happens in the Fallout franchise, a nuclear event causing the world to turn into a wasteland. In this version, the vaults are called stables, and the ponies enter a resource war with the Zebra Empire. While this work originally was spawned for a love of 2 different franchises, it became something that could stand on its own. This is why AUs are so interesting. They allow for a continuation of a world people love, but in a new way. This work from 2011 would become an indicator for what would happen later on in the fandom with the apocalyptic vibes and dark themes. My Little Pony Generation 4 ended its run in 2019. While beloved by fans, it had ran for almost 10 years, and the stories of the main cast had come to an end. It was a long time for the show to run. It continued so long due to the very avid and committed fan base, containing people of all ages. You would think that after ending, eventually the hype would die down and the fandom would wither away or find new things to be interested in. While that happened for some people, others took it upon themselves to continue their love for the series in new ways. MLP Infection Alternate Universes. Anyways, where were we? With the introduction of TikTok as the new social media people were using, fans created multi-part series of worlds where the main pony cast suffered from various infections, causing their world to descend into chaos. These stories all have a similar premise, but the way things play out are vastly different. In some, Applejack is the first infected by trying to save her family, and in others, Twilight captures all of her friends and keeps them alive while searching for a cure. It might seem strange that horror AUs are what is keeping the fandom alive, but if we look back, horror has always been deeply ingrained in the My Little Pony fanbase. One of the most notorious examples is Cupcakes, a creepypasta released in 2011 depicting a deranged Pinkie Pie turning her friends into cupcakes one by one. While it was originally made as a written story, later on a fan animation would solidify this as one of the most well-known pieces of pony media ever created. While I can't play too much of the uncensored animation for you, I will briefly describe it as a video where Rainbow Dash and Pinkie Pie decide to make cupcakes together, but Pinkie Pie didn't have all the ingredients she needed yet. My Little Pony was originally intended for child audiences, but horror fans loved the intersection of making something so cute seem so scary, and it worked really well. In future works, Pinkie Pie was often depicted as the villain, but every main 6 member has had at least one horror story where they are the one murdering all the other ones or losing their mind. The one that affected me the most as a small child was Shed.mov. Created by Hot Diggity Demon, a very experienced animator who likes to dabble in things that are unsettling, he decided he wanted to create a series of videos based on My Little Pony, set in a world where all of the ponies have disturbing hobbies and pastimes, often amplifying the traits the ponies exhibited in the show. In this universe, Pinkie Pie wasn't a murderer. She is an intense party girl who loves illegal substances, playing off of the fact that in the show, she loves to throw parties.
Party, 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 party! Party, 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 party! Party, 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 party!
As shown by her cutie mark/talent. However, Shed.mov focuses on Fluttershy, the sweet, quiet pony who loves animals in her alone time. To play off of this fact, their creator decided to make her a pony who loves torturing animals, and made her reclusiveness be due to the fact that she doesn't want anyone figuring out her hobby of turning ponies into toaster covers. While very well made, even including an original song, seeing this video as a young kid impacted me deeply. I still get shivers seeing that frame of Fluttershy holding the chainsaw. This legacy of horror-themed ponies has been continued on today through MLP infection alternate universes. I believe this is because the premise of an infection taking over can be played out in so many different ways, and people want to try creating their own. There's just something about seeing the ponies deteriorate in a grotesque way that catches your attention. The animation quality some people have been able to achieve is astounding. One video that stood out to me the most was the Shining Armor video. As part of the Divine Swamp Fever AU, the author Chloe Alonso created an animation of Shining Armor looking for his child Flurry Heart after getting infected. The video shows him shaking and wiggling with an uncanny vibe, his jaw wide open, and he's presumably about to harm his own kid when he finds her. He lacks the ability to control himself anymore due to the infection. This entire AU is about a mind-eating disease called pestraobia. The AU was inspired by the actual episode of My Little Pony, Health of Information, where Zecora gets a disease called swamp fever that will eventually turn her into a tree after experiencing many different symptoms. A common trend in these AUs is the infection stages. Taking after popular zombie media, the longer a character is infected, the worse their symptoms get, eventually turning into something unrecognizable. In this AU, there are 6 different stages. The beginning stages, their eyes turn red and they become extremely thirsty, and in the later stages, they throw up bile and their bones rot away. At the final stage, they turn into a tree, just like what would have happened in the real episode. These infection stages make for a fun slideshow on TikTok, as you can swipe from picture to picture, seeing what the pony looks like in each stage as you wonder how it's gonna get worse. In my favorite infection AU, ponies actually take different forms in their final infection based on who they were before. By Rebirth Reborn, the Graveyard Plague takes a different approach to infection and plot. It starts by introducing OCs in the underworld, where a pony makes a deal with a demonic being in order to give her powers to take over Equestria. This is actually the origin of the infection, her sacrifice becoming Patient Zero that would go on to infect Applejack while defending her sister. Applejack, due to her original strength, becomes a very physically strong infected pony. Later on, Fluttershy is infected after quarantining herself and refusing to leave her home. This caused her transformation to be an unmoving mass of bones that won't look at or acknowledge anything else. This is a completely different plotline and premise than the other AU, but it still falls under the Infection AU umbrella. This is why these have become so popular. With so many different ways to spin the story, the only limit is the author's imagination. Formatting on TikTok allows for easy consumption, and people can post as pictures, slideshows, or videos. So whatever works best for the author is how they can choose to create their own stories. It's really great that fandoms can continue on well after their source material ends. For all of its flaws, social media lets us connect and create, introducing others to things that we love. My best friend started getting into My Little Pony recently just because of all the edits she was seeing, and even started drawing her own original character. Our favorite medias can continue on as long as we still talk about them and create things inspired by them. And I think that's beautiful, even if it includes a zombie Twilight Sparkle. Thank you for watching my video. And if you like this one, please subscribe if you want more videos from me. I also am starting to stream on Twitch more, so if you want to see my Twitch, I will probably be streaming on evening EST work nights that I have. I also have been active on my Discord and Twitter, so join me there if you want to talk to me more about infected zombie ponies. Thank you. Bye bye.